We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Brandon Month's Advice.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice. You just locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz Month's Advice. It's Brandon Month's Advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz Month's Advice to the front.
How are you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast. I'm going to jump right into this. First off, I'll spend 20 minutes on Daytona. What a shit show that was. Not even like with the racing or the wrecks. Just like, man, the amount of stupidity that was displayed at Daytona is ridiculous. Like, Austin Wayne Self nearly killed Bobby Gerhart because he didn't even lift and just drove him into the wall. And then Landon Castle just arca braked the shit out of William Byron. Did anyone notice that? Or is that just me? Like, Castle legit, like, hit the gas, sped up, and then just hit William Byron driver's side. Like, that's the most retarded thing I've ever seen in my life. But I digress. That's just that. Let's get right into Atlanta. I am filming this Friday evening. If you hear that, that's my dog messing around on her bed. But right now, I'm just going to be looking at what, I mean, really for the Cup Series. I'll do the Cup Series first right fast, just because I'm sure that's what most people are looking at. The Truck Series and Xfinity Series are also in this video. I'll do the same thing I did last time, put the times on the bottom where they are. But I'm going to go on it of how I did it last year, going looking at the qualifying order. And since they only have one practice in the books right now, I'm just going to go on people that I think based on where they qualify. If you guys want me to make another video on Saturday just focusing on the Cup Series and going more in-depth, just let me know, and I might do that. I might not, depend on how many people want to know that information. Just like I said before, message me on Twitter, tweet at me. I'll happily answer any questions that you guys have. So looking at the qualifying order, we only have 37 cars on this race. So much for people wanting to show up, and we're not having back markers. We're having like nobody show up. They really need to at least increase the entry fee back to 43, or the number of cars at 43. But whatever, fuck it. BJ McLeod and the number 52, not interested. Cody Ware, not interested. I'm a little bit interested in Garrett Smithley. I got to see his times because that first practice was pretty much just practicing for qualifying. I don't expect to really see anyone or any good times from that. And also, so this is my theory on the race right fast. I think it's going to be really, really boring. I think that the leader is still going to pull away from the field, and I think the top 5 cars are going to be able to pull away from the field. They're not going to be in their own pack. They're not going to be double file, but I think they're at least going to they're going to pull away from the field and probably be maybe like 4/10, 6/10 off each other, maybe a second off each other. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like there, and then from 6th to like 20th, they'll be within maybe 10 seconds of each other. So some double file racing here and there, other just single file. I don't expect it to be real crazy. It's not fucking plate racing like whatever people say. Like, I mean, yeah, they have a restricted plate on there, but it's not legit plate racing. So I'm still expecting just a regular boring ass cookie cutter race, even though it's Atlanta. I think it will be one of the better races this year, but I don't expect pack racing like a lot of people are saying. Okay, so let me get back to my drivers. I really like Parker Kligerman. I think he is a really good driver, and I just like Parker in general. I think he has way more talent than what his budget has right now, and what the team that he's racing for has. So I like Parker Kligerman as a punt. Let me just check his Xfinity. Okay, what is Kligerman? Kligerman is $5,100. I haven't made any limes right now, but I really like Parker Kligerman right now. I'm not too big into Landon Castle. I think he's going to be a bit slow. I like Ross Chastain. I like Matt Tiff, and I like Chris Buescher. Actually, okay, so now only having 37 guys, I hate this because I like picking my punts 35th to 40th. So this just really fucks everything up because I really like a lot of the drivers back here. And I think this is at least where 2 of my guys are going to come from, probably in each lineup. I'll probably have maybe about 5, 6, 7 lineups this week. But I like Parker as a good punt. Chastain as a punt, I'm going to try and see what they do in practice, and I'm probably going to go either Chastain or Kligerman with whoever I think is the least owned. And then we got Tiff, Busher, Wallace, and Hemrick. Your kind of back markers. So I'm going to focus on these guys because right above them you have Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott. All those guys are and Keselowski and Harvick. Those guys qualified really shitty. So the chalk right now is Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick. So we got to try and get off those guys, but we got to try and find people that have the same amount of value to them. If you get what I'm saying here. Let's say, for example, Joey Logano is 40% owned. Let's say Ryan Blaney is 35% owned. I think that it'll differ a little bit more. Joey Logano is going to be more owned than Ryan Blaney, but let's just say you have those guys. I think we got to get off those people, and to do that, I'm not going to do it in every lineup. I'm going to be playing Harvick, Keselowski, Blaney, and Logano, but I really like Hemrick. I think Hemrick's going to go heavily under-owned, mainly because he didn't do a whole lot at Daytona. I don't think a lot of people know him, like him, give or take. And I think the person that's really going to be under-owned is Chris Buescher and Matt Tiff. Those two guys are going to be at least 10% back here. And back here is fantastic. So, and Castle's, I got to see what they're running with Starcom. Because Derek Cope and those guys at Starcom, they're trying to get a good little program going. So, let's see. So between Kligerman, Castle, Chastain, Tiff, Buescher, not too big into Wallace. I don't know why. I just don't feel. I'm not confident about Bubba at all. Entering this year. So I'll be a little bit hesitant to use Bubba right now. But let's see. So, I am so sorry. I'm tired. I had a long day. Man, that practice is fucking retarded. I hate NASCAR.com, and I hate PRN. I can't stand those stupid fucks. I'd rather listen to Motor Racing Network all day. Whatever, I digress again. Shifting gears back to that, so I think a lot of lineups are going to be made or broke between 34th and 28th right now, because we're going to have to choose who is the least amount of owned between Hemrick, Wallace, Buescher, Tiff, Chastain, and Castle, and Kligerman. Whoever gets one of these guys right is going to win the GPP. Okay, so I like him. I'm probably going to go off who I think is better in practice these next couple days. So then we got Logano, Blaney, Ryan Preece. I still think a lot of people aren't going to really play Ryan Preece. I don't know why. He's a damn good racer. Yeah, he finished good at Talladega or Daytona this last week, but I don't think the market is there for him right now. No one's going to be playing Corey LaJoie. No one's going to be playing David Reagan, and I'm a little bit interested in David Reagan, but the motherfucker's starting 23rd, and I think he has a 20. I think he's going to finish 26. I don't see it. Chase Elliott's another guy who now Chase Elliott has ran good at Atlanta before. I think he just got a bad break in qualifying from what it seemed like. Same as Logano. Excuse me. I am so sorry. But between Logano and Blaney and Elliott's going to be the lowest owned of those guys. I think no one's going to own Ty Dillon, so man, not based on practice speed, just based on game theory. I really like Ty Dillon, and I think Matt DiBenedetto just overqualified, or he might be doing good in that 95. That 95 might have speed this year, but it's still too early to know. And then you got Keselowski and Harvick, William Byron. Due to Kevin Harvick and Keselowski being right there, William Byron, Bowman, and Jones are going to be really under-owned. Jones might be a bit higher than the other guys, but I like William Byron and Alex Bowman for GPPs to try and get something different going on. And yet again, guys, make your picks off of what practice tells you, off of what the long run speed tells you. I'm just looking at qualifying right now for game theory. So then you got Paul Menard, not too big into Paul Menard, not too big into Newman, even though he was pretty fast. McDowell, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think this package is helping the more lower skilled teams, but McDowell's just too high. I like Jimmy Johnson, man. I feel like a lot of people are going to be off this guy this year. A lot of people feel like, oh, he's going to retire after this year. He doesn't have Knaus or Chad and blah 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 blah. I like Johnson, and I think he might be the highest I'll go right now. I got to see who's fastest in these next two. In these next two practices tomorrow, because Kevin Harvick is clearly the favorite. Maybe it's just one practice tomorrow. I don't really remember. I've had a long day, but I mean, because Harvick's the favorite going into this, but he's having steering box issues, or just power steering issues in general, and I believe it's a suspension problem. So I don't know if they're going to switch cars and go to a backup or whatnot. But if that happens, Harvick has to drive through the field, and while he still has the skill to win the race, I don't think he's going to take all the points. So I'm going to be looking at whoever's fat. I don't think it's going to be Almirola, Stenhouse. Not too big into Stenhouse. Not too big into Boyer. Not too big into Hamlin. Not too big into Suarez. I like Kyle here. I like both the Kyles and Kurt and Truex here, just based on how they looked in that first practice, how their cars looked. I don't have the data right now to support it because everyone was just in Q runs, and I'm throwing all that shit out the window. This next practice is the one that I care about. But oh man, that's what I'm looking at. God dang, I didn't realize how much information I didn't have right now, because I'm filming this right after qualifying was made official. So let me go through and the guys that I like for GPP and game theory right now off the cuff. So we got Kligerman, Chastain, Tiff, Buescher, Hemrick, Ty Dillon, William Byron, Bowman, Eric Jones, Jimmy Johnson. Those are my guys that I think are going to be lower owned, that can actually support where they're starting and finish way above it and be better than what their qualifying position shows. And then I just like Truex. Oh, god dang it. Both the Kyles, Hamlin, as fast cars that I think people are going to miss out. Okay, so we're done with that. Please ask questions and whatnot in the YouTube thing, because I'm going to be answering them throughout Saturday and all that type of stuff. So let's go through, what is this, the Xfinity series we are on. So Jeffrey Earnhardt has reinvented himself straight from what Junior has said about him. So I like the 18 just for being fast on lap averages and in practice. Annette beat him in practice one right now, and there's not a whole lot of people running or doing 10-lap runs. So I'm just going to look at practice 2 speeds right now. But I yet again like Ryan Preece. I'm a huge fan of Christopher Bell. I think Christopher Bell is the one to beat in general. I think he's going to start on the pole, and I think you're going to need him regardless of who's in the field tomorrow. I think Christopher Bell is where it's at. Jeffrey Earnhardt's going to be really quick, and since he's in a JGR vehicle, he's going to be really fast. I like Ray Black Jr. I like Brandon Brown. I love Brandon Brown because I don't think anyone's going to own him. He's running for the Rookie of the Year. He's basically an Alex Labay of last year, where no one was owning him at the start of the year and everyone was owning him at the end. I think Timmy Hill and all those guys, I don't think they're going to be starting Parks this year. I think they're going to actually be racing it. So if you think that Carl Long cars are going to actually try and go the distance, they don't have to finish. They'll probably finish at least like 17 laps down, but I don't think they're starting Parks. Timmy Hill is 26th quickest at the end of second practice. I like him. I like the 5 of Matt Mills, Joey Gaze in the 35, Tommy Joe Martin's in the 99. That's a new thing. I'm gonna have to look at that car to see if they're sponsored. So what I do, because I wasn't able to watch a whole lot of Xfinity qualifying, so what I typically do with backmarker cars is I go on the driver's Twitter and I go look at the car that they're running this week, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and I check and see the sponsorship status of that car. Are they sponsored for this race? If so, is it like an actual sponsor, or is it just want to get to the track and call it a day? Do these people actually want advertising from it, or are they just putting it on because they're supporting a friend that's racing? So, I'm gonna watch qualifying tomorrow, make my last decision on those types of cars. I'm not too crazy about this new shit with how they're fucking showing practices and stuff. It's just a pain in the ass. It's fucking ridiculous. Christopher Bell is my favorite going into tomorrow for the Xfinity series. I think Ryan Preece and goddamn it, what was his fucking name? And Jeffrey Earnhardt battle him out. And then going to the trucks, I am really liking, just out of the gun right now, I'm really liking Jesse Little. Don't ask me why. I'm probably going to be playing a lot of Jesse Little depending on where he starts. And I'm going to be playing a lot of Chad Finley. Where did that motherfucker go? He's 17th fastest, driving the 42. He's in the same vehicle that Robbie Lyons races, and I really, really like that Sunwest Construction Chevrolet. I think he's going to be under-owned horribly. Let me just make sure he's in the thing. Chad Finley, dude, he's $5,300. Holy shit, he's so under fucking value. He's the fucking bottom. Holy dog shit, are you serious? Chad Finley, I am lighting that motherfucker up. Let's fucking go, man. Let's go. 42, Chad Finley, let's go. Let's go, I'm playing you. Looking at the prices, I'm very interested because I guess Timmy Hill's racing. Norm Benning trying to make the field. Natalie Decker where was she at the end of this? I like Jordan Anderson. I'm going to keep playing Jordan Anderson. Jennifer Jo Cobb is starting to park it. Joe Nemechek, if Joe Nemechek is actually racing, I like Joe Nemechek. Timothy Peters, I like Timothy Peters. Stuart Friesen, I think Stuart actually has one of the cars to beat this week, the 52 car. I don't know how many people are going to actually be using him. I think Todd Gillen, I don't think Todd Gillen is going to be much of a factor. If I had to choose between Harrison Burton or Todd Gillen, I'd choose Harrison Burton. If you guys have run into that question right now, I like Parker Kligerman, and then Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch is what, like 15,000 on iRace or on DraftKings. Let's just see right now. What do I do? If I put Kyle Busch and Chad Finley, I got $7,400 left for everyone else. Anderson Poole, $7,900. You can make a good lineup starting Kyle Busch. I don't see a reason why you don't put Kyle Busch in there, because Kyle Busch is the best fucking racer since Earnhardt. Okay, maybe that's a stretch, but Kyle Busch is winning a whole lot. I'm playing Kyle Busch regardless, and depending on where everyone else is starting, that's going to depend on what punts I take and all that stuff. But if you think Kyle Busch is going to dominate, which I think he's going to dominate and win the race, I'm playing Kyle Busch, regardless of how much money I have left in the player pool on DraftKings. So, man, that's the plan. Like I said, I like Jesse Little. I like Chad Finley in the 42. What's his name? Jordan Anderson. Still a fan of Jordan Anderson. I have to see if Timmy Hill's going to run that actual full race for Bobby Gerhart in that 63 car. I got to check and see, because if Timmy Hill's running that full thing, I might put Timmy Hill in that. And then I like Timothy Peters, Gus Dean too, but I think Gus Dean's probably going to qualify about 9th, and he's going to really fuck up that. Brennan Poole, really underrated driver right now. I don't think a lot of people are going to be looking at Brandon Poole, and if they are, it's just based on the name. I'm going to have to check and just see what people are talking about tomorrow to see if people are going to be playing Brandon Poole, but those are the guys that I like right now. Austin Wayne Self, I guarantee you he qualifies 18th. He finished 17th. Corby Fosner. Not too crazy about these guys. We're just going to have to wait and see how they qualify, wait and see how their cars are looking to make your best decision. Thank you guys very much for listening. I'm so sorry this is coming out late, but thanks for listening for 20 minutes. If you have any questions or anything, please type in the comments here. Message me on Twitter. And thank you for watching. If you'd like to donate, my PayPal is in the description. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic night, and enjoy your racing here in Atlanta this week.